So let me ask you this. Is it possible you're addicted? Is it possible that you are addicted to self-doubt? Not because you're weak, not at all, but because your brain thinks it's safer to doubt than self-belief. Today, I want to show you how to break that. What's up, family? Welcome to the Reclamation Code. It's good to see you. If you're new here, I'm Ricky. Glad to have you join us. So today we're going to talk about, one thing that is possible in life is that we all have a bit of an addict in us when it comes to how our brains are wired. Most people don't realize this, but self-doubt is a chemical loop. Every time you shrink, you get small, you question yourself, you second guess your vision, you get a little hit of familiarity. It feels safe. It feels predictable, like control, but it's not safety. It's more of sabotage. Your nervous system learned somewhere along the line that, shrinking is the equivalent to surviving. That belief became a habit, and that habit became an identity. And now, that identity just runs the show. So if we were going to talk about, the real addiction to it, addiction isn't always a substance. Sometimes it can be a thought. Sometimes the most destructive thing you can crave is certainty. With that, doubt gives you certainty. If you expect nothing, you just can't be disappointed. That's something that I lived by for years. If you hold back, you can't fail. If you stay small, no one can reject you. That was the story of my life in a nutshell, for sure. But that's what we would consider the loop. That's the trap. And today I want to talk about how we can go ahead and break that. So if we were going to look at a neurochemical break loop, the way that we can do this is in 3 steps. There's a 3-step pattern that can disrupt the loop in real time, and it helps build new beliefs through that circuitry. It's what we can call the neurochemical break loop. The first step is you don't argue with it. You just label it. If something comes up in your head, you just say, this is a doubt loop, not truth, just a loop. The first thing you're doing is you're naming it out loud and you're disarming the story. The second, you're going to go ahead and reinforce with safety. You can say this to your nervous system out loud right after the action. See, we survived, we're safe, and we did it anyway. That rewires the loop by pairing courage with safety and not fear. The last step, you go and close with activation. You don't need more motivation, you need deprogramming. You're not doubt, you're just the hesitation. You are the one underneath it, the one waiting to be reclaimed. The next time that old loop kicks in, you can just remember, you're not afraid of failing. You're afraid of finally seeing how powerful you really are. I hope that in these terms that it resonates in a way that, we talk a lot about, reprogramming and, coming at things from a different angle. The goal is to be empowered by all of this. I hope that if you go through these exercises, you go through these 3 steps today, you start to feel empowered and reclaiming the different things that you might not have known about. That's the whole goal and purpose with this channel, and that's what we're hoping to do. I know sometimes when I was going through a lot of these exercises, I started to get down on myself because I felt like I'm always working on something. Like there was always something to be done. I'm always doing an exercise of some sort. I'm always having to look at myself and reflect. With that, with growth, it can be painful, and it's okay to take a break. You don't have to work on yourself day in and day out. And if it starts to wear on you, take a step back. Sometimes working on just one thing can be better than trying to work on 15 things at the same time. So I want to encourage you, like, if you start to feel down about things, or you start to like second guess yourself, like, am I really this freaking broken, or reprogramming needs this much done? Take a step back and just reflect that, it's not as hardcore as it has to be. Like, these are just things that you can work on for the rest of your life. It's not something that you have to do this week, this month, this year. It's stuff to work on. So these are tools in your tool belt. You can carry them along with you as long as you need to or want to. But with that, I want to thank you, family. I hope everyone has a great week. Like I always say, love strong, do hard things, embrace your gifts. If anything resonated with you, put it in the comments today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this if possible with your friends and loved ones. And with that, I'll talk to you next week.